Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna be playing in the Napoleonic era, sorry, what? No, my bad, Victorian era. My bad, my bad. We're gonna be playing as Bavaria, and we're gonna be forming the German Confederation. Now, this this video has been quite heavily requested, so I'm just like, you know what? It's time to finally do this. And the thing is, right? I'm pretty sure the actual German Confederation is mainly the reason I didn't do it is because the borders, right, are really similar to the Holy Roman Empire, and I've already done that video, right? But instead, this time I decided to do something I decided to make it a little bit more, challenging, at least. And so instead of just doing the Holy Roman Empire borders, I also made it so that I had to conquer all of Prussia and Austria. And so, and besides, and plus, see, initially, you could say I could have just gone for like Prussia or Austria, and play as them. But then I decided, you know what, I'm gonna play as Bavaria since it's more of a challenge that way. And so, yeah. So I started out by basically taking out all the. Okay, I needed to. That intro just went through half of the conquests. Okay. So I started by taking a lot of smaller nations. As you can see right now, I'm like invading Saxony. And I'm not even invading. They're already dead. And I invaded Anhalt. Is that their name? No. Is that their name? Bro, I don't know these German. Okay, look. I conquered Saxony, okay? And then I look over at the Kingdom of Hanover. And I see that the British, they literally just had launched their war of rebellion. And surprisingly, my entire force died right then and there, which is pretty embarrassing, okay? Let's be honest. I'm kind of embarrassed about that. But then I had to fight the Hanoverians while I was infuriated. I was actually annoyed because like the British were up in the north taking territory, and I was like, what the hell? Like I'm losing out here, right? And then I tried to wait for them to take out the British, but then the British just took the rest, and I got very angry. But I realized something. Since the British didn't have cores on this territory, I was like, it's free. It's gotta be real estate. Free real estate. It's gotta be free real estate. I saw that there was a rebellion, but no, they crushed that. Anyways, I tried buying one of the provinces. Didn't work. So I tried getting even more money, and it worked. 100,000 for just the province of Bremen. Okay? I tried the next province. 100,000. Didn't give money. United Kingdoms declared war on me. The Scandinavia. I didn't give a shit. I got Russia to declare war on them. But anyways, I once again tried with Britain. I gave them a lot more money. And then I once again tried, gave them all the money. They still said no. So what I did was, it was a race against time. I had to quickly buy this stuff before Britain assimilated it and gained cores. If they did, I would never get it back, because in this scenario, Britain is overpowered, right? You know that. So if you declare war on Britain in Victorian era, you're just fucked. Okay? Unless you yourself are overpowered. But right now, I was like, okay, I'm not ready for this war. I don't want to fight a war. So I kept on requesting. And like that bar, that number, 10 turns away, it was getting ever closer, and I was just scared. Every single turn. I didn't skip a single turn. I kept requesting, please, 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 give me the trade offer. Please. Finally, it worked. And can I tell you, I cannot express how happy I was at this moment. Like, I had managed to successfully buy 3 provinces from the AI. I know that sounds pretty funny. And like, I realized that like, I pretty much enriched the shit out of Britain. I gave them a total of something like 500,000 right then and there. Or actually no, 600,000 something right then and there for just those 3 provinces. So I'm pretty sure they got a lot of value out of them. Meanwhile, I realized that France and the Ottomans were ganging up on Prussia, and I was like, then I was now concerned, right? Because now I'm supposed to take over Prussia, but if France and the Ottomans get it, that's gonna make this a whole lot more harder. And so I started preparing for a potential war with Russia, but then with Prussia, and then the Ottomans just start taking over Prussia, and so now I'm trying to save Prussia. Like, this is how ironic it's getting. Like, I'm trying to save Prussia by getting other people to declare war on them. So I got Russia declare war on France. I got Mecklenburg to declare war on the Ottomans, but that did, they succeeded for a while, and then eventually they got taken over, and then I was just like, what the fuck? I mean, it was because of Holstein, but still, and then the Ottomans were still going, and then I Again, it was really weird. I was trying to save Prussia so that I could conquer them. So then I tried to distract the Ottomans. I tried to get the Nejid to go to war with them, and like the Ottomans were, and even Greece. Yeah, I even got Greece in on it, and like, and then finally the Prussians managed to free themselves, and then I took this as my chance to strike, and then I quickly mobilized my army, and then one last time and invaded as soon as I could, and then quickly I seized, like I took over the provinces nearest to me that were actually flanking me. I wonder why Prussia had it like that. Like, why would you have random ass provinces in the middle of Germany? Anyways, point is, I started invading Prussia, and like they were basically a shell of what they were before. Like, because they had been ravaged by so much like countries, like so much, the entire territory had just been taken over, and like they just got liberated. I'm pretty sure they had zero money, so, or at least little to nothing, and so I was able to just take over all of Prussia just like that. And then all of a sudden, wait, no, oh yeah, right. So I realized that France annexed literally all the territory they took, and Prussia was just left as a rump state by me. And so now I was concerned. Okay, France now just had this massive amount of the territory that I was supposed to take. But then, to distract me from my problems, Mecklenburg declares war on me, and like I was really annoyed because I just to conquer this region, and like I didn't even finish assimilating it yet, and so now I had to defend against this attack. But of course, they were much more weaker than me, so all they could really do was just waste my time by running away, and that really annoyed me. So once I took them out and then annexed them, that was that, right? And then I proceeded to take the next couple of turns to assimilate the provinces. Now I tried. Okay, this is a vain attempt, but I tried to buy those provinces from France. Of course, they said no. Now I tried to buy one province, and they actually agreed, which actually made me a little bit happy. But of course, I was, there's no way I could have bought all of that. And so, you know what I did? I tried to do what I best could, and then just I disbanded all my troops, as many troops as I could. I just disbanded them, and then made my income go up to about 11,000, and then tried my best to buy more territory. But then, bloody hell, like I got so mad when this happened. Okay, like I was, in real life, I was just cursing. And like, I'm like, fucking Netherlands. I was literally going there. Because, bro, Netherlands interrupted me, and then they just started attacking me. And I just got mad. Like, because, I got mad, so mad at the game. Because, like, I was, planning on trying to buy French territories in Germany. But then, of course, that was now out the window. And now I had to fight against Netherlands, who, by the way, since they're in control of Indonesia in this map, or in this, like, a scenario, they are a lot really strong. I mean, you can't just count their European territories. So now I was fighting them, and they kept bringing people in the thousands from what I'm pretty sure was abroad. But yeah. So again, if you're wondering about what happened with the French territories, I could not assimilate them anymore. I couldn't get them anymore. So because I was occupied with this war. And like this war was not even like one of those one-sided wars where like, I turned the tide or something. No, it was literally just a grinding war, because the Netherlands was also pretty powerful. But the grinding was slightly in my favor, because as you can see, I gradually started to push Netherlands out of my territory and into their territory. And slowly but surely I made it. But then I realized this is going nowhere. I decided to take one province and then just leave. And then I decided to also like try to exchange the province with France, but that did not work. So screw that. And then I got territorial access through France. Luckily, they're good allies with me, so I got territorial access with France. And then I released the Batavian Republic. So like, this thing, basically the French puppet state of the Netherlands when Napoleon was doing his thing. I don't know why I released them. I mean, look, I took territory from the Netherlands because I wanted something for, like, in compensation for 80,000 people of mine dying. But I just puppeted it, because why not? Because puppeting things is fun. Let's be real. All right, so then later on, I decided to invade, Prussia, and conquered it and just annexed it completely. So I was getting we're finished with that, right? And then, yeah, okay, I assimilated it, of course. Then I began to move my troops all the way back to Holstein. Oh, actually, no, I took over Oldenburg before that because they rejected my like requests to die, my request to just annex them. They rejected it, and then I invaded them and then took them out, as I normally do. And then I moved those troops to Holstein, right? Not Holstein. What am I saying? Schleswig? Holstein? No, it's Holstein. It's Holstein. Okay, but then I basically pulled I looked around me to check what I needed to do, and I decided to take out Holstein because they were the weakest opponent. And like I decided to pull up Prussia, pull up Prussia and just go to war with them and go to war with Denmark specifically over Holstein, like last in real life, I guess. So in this world, Bavaria just replaces Prussia and unites Germany. That's basically what this is. So I try to wait. What did I do? Oh yeah, okay. I declare war on Holstein, and this time Denmark joins in as well, and yeah, Denmark joins in, but I really don't care. So Denmark tries to naval invade me, but they really can't do anything. And then I make peace on my terms, and they just leave me alone. So Denmark in like 5 turns lost their puppet, which is sucks, I guess. I mean, that was a pretty good buffer against the rest of Germany. So at this point, all I had left was to take over Austria and fight France for the Rhine, or the what do you call it, Ruhr region. My bad, not Rhine, Ruhr region. So and I also moved the capital to Berlin because I felt like that's more appropriate now that I'm basically the German Empire all over again. And I started preparing myself. Oh, okay, assimilating also, but then like I checked my. Wait, why did I check my income? Oh yeah, because I wanted to see how it had been affected by the wars. I mean, in these games, you'll see if you check your income and after a couple of wars, it'll just go up and down, up down, up down because of the troops. But whatever. So I was actually good allies with Austria, and like normally, I usually don't like going to war with allies, but of course, since we're here for a video, we're here to do the conquest. We can't just feel sad or feel sentimental. So I started conquest of Austria, and this time Austria was. I mean, look, I didn't trigger the war, but they were conveniently at war with. I think it was who was it? I think it was Egypt. I think. Who were they at war with? I don't know. I forgot. I forgot who they were at war with, but they were at war with someone else in like far away. Yeah, it was Egypt. I think they were at war with someone else like far away, right? So I think most of their army was just out of the country, going in a Middle East adventure. And so while they were off there, I decided to literally just invade. I was invading Austria, right? And by this point, I'd literally taken like half the country, and I started to notice that they were just trying to push back. Not sizably, no. They pushed back in northern Italy, but I was able to. I started pulling back a few troops. Meanwhile, I started pushing another. The rest of the front was pretty. What do you call it? Chill. I then destroyed the force in northern Italy and basically leaving the rest of Austria to me. And I made sure not to allow my troops to spread too thin. And I even sent a bunch of people into to take that last bit out of I don't know what it's called. The place is called, but yeah. And also the Austrians had taken over Crete and part of northern Syria or Syria, and so yeah, it's kind of funny. I mean, I still find it funny the fact that they were taking those. Yeah, sure they gained those territories, but their country had literally just been taken over. And I realized that the Austrians are here with 8,000 of their people. I guess they were like, okay, we have enough. We had enough. And so I started pulling forces back quickly to meet the Austrians. Meanwhile, the rest of the front, I decided to take over the country as quickly as I could before they could get here. And they did, but luckily, just by pure luck, they landed exactly where like the most troops were, the most troops I had were, and then they just lost because of that one move. They lost the chance to make a comeback, and so I ended up just annexing their country. Uh, yeah, that's. And then I looked at the peace deal. I was like, I wanted to make sure that I got everything out of it, so I just made it so that yeah, and then I got that. So I basically just took half of Austria apart, and I noticed that France was over here invading Spain, and since of course the war with Austria had caused minimal casualties, I was like not minimal, like 18,000 or something, but like still, I was like okay, my army is still pretty big, so I can just use it to invade France. And like, if you look at this, right, if you look at the top screen, you'll see it's in negative 200,000 at the start of this invasion. You'll see how that it might have been a mistake, but at the same time, you'll see how that worked out for me. So, anyways, the reason I attacked like this was because I seriously did not feel like waiting for that debt to go away and then building a new army all over again just so I could invade France. And so I as soon as the invasion started, I already started to face problems. They destroyed part of my force, and now I had to send a bunch of my troops up north to counter the French, which was really annoying to do. But since a lot of my troops had died in the initial attack, the good thing was that I was now making money again, at like 8,000 per turn. But since I was like 200,000 in debt, yeah, I would not see that money until who knows how long. Meanwhile, I decided to shorten the front line by pushing forward a little bit, and I tried to annex this territory. But then I was like, you know what? No, that's not enough. I want to take as much as I could. And so I decided to start advancing on the French line. And I advanced carefully. I didn't want to actually no, I advanced quite fast because I thought France was just done right now. I was like, okay, they don't have troops, so I can just do this. And then I was initially convinced of this because I was making so much success, but then my true line started thinning out, and I got a little scared, and so I tried to make a peace deal when I could, all right. And then now that I'd gotten territory, I tried to make a dash for Paris, but they stopped me at the gates of Paris. But since I'd taken southern France, I was like, okay, maybe they might just give a peace deal. I can finish it, end the war right now, and it'll be all good. But then France started pushing back. And that's the moment where I was like, oh shit, okay. We might have just made a mistake. So I then decided, okay, it's time for a orderly retreat back to the main line. The Franco-German border around Metz and all, right? Then I say orderly with air quotes, orderly retreat with air quotes, because a lot of my troops just died in the retreat. So I retreated. You see, it was a strategic retreat though, because that bought me enough time to get the money I needed to raise a new army to fight the French. And then what I did was I basically used this new army, or I used the newfound cash I got, and I pulled some of the old troops in, and that retreat ended up giving me time to consolidate my forces. Okay, it was a tactical retreat. Okay, don't even think it's no. Okay, it was a very tactical retreat. As you can see, I was able to protect my troops. Especially, as you can see right there. France attacked with like 4,000 people. Luckily, I was able to fall back to that castle, or else I would have lost the province, right? So what I did was, for the next couple of turns, I'd use the frequent money I'd get, and I just build up my troops. And then I began a new offensive. Actually, no, not a new offensive. I just pushed a little bit deeper. I shortened the front line. That's what I did. I shortened the front line, made it so that it was in the short. Here's the thing, right? Shorter front lines are in the defender's advantage. And so that's what I did. I shortened the front line so that France would have a tough time getting through. And then I advanced for a second time. And then I decided to just push forward for a second time, right? And attack. And then once again, I was in the position to attack Paris, but I decided not to. But they ended up pushing against me anyways. So I was like, you know what? Maybe it's time we just stop right here. And then this time, the French made peace, and I was very happy. but I still had two provinces left that I needed to take over. So, whatever. And it was at this moment that I realized that Austria, all the Austrian territory I had just taken like so many turns ago, was still not assimilated. And like when I realized that, I was like, oh shit! I'm surprised they didn't rebel. But yeah, so after that entire, as you can see, that entire French War was pretty crazy. Also, I got to 500,000 factories. Anyways, after that French War, Sardinia attacks me, and yeah, no, so they attacked me, and they actually get some pretty good, like a good advance, mainly because as I mentioned earlier, I didn't assimilate the Austrian territory. So when they attacked the ex-Austrian territory of northern Italy, they were able to take it rapidly. But then as soon as my reinforcement showed up, then yeah, but it was just a done game. It was done. They got conquered pretty fast. I didn't even need to like they tried counterattacking, but I mean come on, it's Sardinia, guys. And at this point I had 500,000 factories, all of Germany on my side, bro. No, they died. And so then I annexed it all. I annexed all the territory, including my old province of Venice. And then what I did was I just decided to release a new puppet state. And so I went and selected Italy. Yeah, I went and selected Italy, a different Italy, not the regular one, but I just selected this one. And then I gave him all of the Sardinian territory I got. Piedmont, no, Sardinia, right? Piedmont, Sardinia, right? So, what was it? Yeah, and like thing was the country I just attacked, right, Sardinia, they were still in the island of Sardinia. That's the funny thing. So now I'd created two, but yeah, I created these guys as a buffer state against France. And then I saw Switzerland getting invaded by France, and I contemplated involving myself. So I decided to proclaim the independence of Switzerland to see if that would do anything, and it didn't. So I was just like, oh well, they're dead now, whatever. And like I was annoyed by this because Switzerland was a good buffer, would have made for a good buffer state to France, and so that was an issue because I needed to still go to war with the French later on. But that would be later. Until then, I started raising an army in Austria to finish off what was left of the country, and yeah, so I just pulled up all the troops on the border, and I wasn't as like didn't bring that many people to the fight either. Turns out they were at war with Sokoto for some reason. Again, there's no way to even get to that country, but they were at war with them for some reason. So I started invading Austria, and like again, they actually pushed back. Surprisingly, I don't know how, but they pushed back. But I really didn't care, and and it was like literally one turn later, I just pummeled them right back, and then yeah, no, then the rest of this war was just me walking through Austria, just me walking through Austria, and then no, that's basically it. I don't know what else I can say. It was just a clean conquest with barely any casualties. Turns out they'd taken over Crete, so I was like, you know what, just to rub it in, I went and invaded Crete with like 4,000 people just to get 100%. And then proceeded to annex everything, and then I went and I upgraded Crete a little bit. Built a bunch of stuff in the Heraklion, that's the capital. I built a bunch of stuff over there, and then I decided to release the island nation of Crete. So I scrolled down, I was, because let me be honest, I like releasing things. It's fun. Okay, I like releasing nations. Meanwhile, what do you call yeah, I annexed the rest of Austria, obviously, and then I started moving these guys all the way back to France. You guys see a pattern here. I invade Austria, and then I send my troops, the leftovers, back to France to fight them. But yeah, anyways, I sent those troops over to France. This time I am not in an economic deficit, so we're improving, guys, we're improving. And I look over at Italy, and I give them some money. I just give them a small loan of 100,000 coins, and I let them modernize a little, like improve, right? And then I get them to, what do you call? I look at them. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put my vassal through a test and get them to fight an Italian city-state, and they won. So I was like, I was pretty happy, you know. I felt like a proud dad. I was, my puppet state won the war. Was very happy. Uh, they achieved the test. That's what I was literally telling myself, like, they achieved the test. Mission accomplished. Anyways, so yeah, as I was continuing, I started fortifying the French line, right? I had no intention of advancing into Switzerland, and so I just, you know, if Switzerland wasn't gonna be my buffer, then I was gonna be my buffer, and I just built a shit ton of fortifications, and then I stacked up the part where I wanted to invade, and then took those two provinces, and then just held the line, and then and then I just made peace, and this time France accepted immediately, and so guys, I formed the German Confederation. See y'all next time. Bye bye.